Hi everyone, and welcome to the second weekly challenge. I hope you did well in the first challenge, and maybe it was an eye-opener for you. I don't know, for a few of you, maybe you noticed triggers that you didn't even know that you had, and that is a good thing because when you know that you have them, you can kind of anticipate that you will get triggered by them. I did notice that more than one person anyway was a little bit confused about the difference between a trigger and a habit. So I want to address this briefly because I think it will help with today's challenge as well. So a habit is usually something that is a learned behavior, something that you have been practicing many times that you do, which is an autopilot. So that could be the first time you're driving to work. If you got a new job, you're going to pay attention, you're going to think about where you're going. It's going to take a lot of brain capacity for you to actually get there. But once you've done that a few times, it will basically be on autopilot because you have now made it a habit. You take left, you take right, blah, blah, blah. And you sometimes notice that when you're not going to work and for some reason you just take those turns and you turn up on the road outside work even though you didn't intend to do that. And that is because it's a habit, is something that is pre-programmed into your reptilian brain or your lower part of the brain. So it's now a habit that you don't need to think about. So it's just something that we do. So we had one lady in the Facebook group, she gave a perfect example of how this works. So I'm going to use that as an example here. So every time she comes home from work, she wants to eat something. And this has probably been something that she's been doing for quite some time, that she doesn't even really think about. She just comes home and then she eats, and that's what she does. And it hasn't been a problem because she's taught herself how to do this. It was convenient, it probably made her feel better coming home from work if she's tired, etc. But now she wants to change this, and all of a sudden she comes home from work and she doesn't want to eat. And her whole body will go like, yes, you have to eat. Now we're really uncomfortable because we're not fulfilling this habit loop that we have. All of a sudden there's a break in there. So our brain is like, hello, what's going on? This is not part of the plan. The plan was to just eat because we want to finish this loop. But she decided that she doesn't want to do that. And this is going to be very uncomfortable. So her habit is coming home from work and then eat something. The trigger is also coming home from work because the trigger or coming home from work would trigger her cravings. And that's because that's part of this whole process. So if she doesn't finish this process, she will get a craving for whatever it is. Even if we wouldn't necessarily say that it's a craving if it's something that doesn't have to do with food, but let's say she's coming home from work and what she always do every day is start singing loudly. But for whatever reason, her husband or something is asleep, so she can't do this. Excuse me. That might also feel very uncomfortable. She's coming home from work and she's so used to singing and now she can't do it. And it's gonna feel like an inner conflict almost, like she has to obsessively finish this habit loop, but now she can't. It's actually no different. It's just that this is called a craving because we're craving food of some kind. So it's just a learned behavior that will trigger this inside of you. So a habit can sort of, or part of a habit I should say, can actually be a trigger. So that's why this can be a little bit confusing. So coming home from work triggers her cravings for food. Coming home from work is also the first step in this habit. And the reason that she's doing this, that she's just practiced it so many times that it's automatic. So when she's being conscious about what's going on, she will notice how strong this craving is, and she really wants to fulfill this habit loop. And in this case, it is coming home from work, look for food, probably, or look for what to eat, and then just eat it. And then there are a few micro steps in between there, but pretty much that's what's going on. And she does not really have a choice. She will have to come home from work at some point, unless she go and do something else in between, but that might still trigger the craving because she has been at work. So if she tries to interrupt this learned behavior, she is going to notice these very, very intense cravings, and that's normal. That will happen. So coming home from work is the start of this craving, but it's also start of this habit loop. And it's not something that can stop just like that. And she will have to change this step in this chain reaction in order to change this. So for example, when she comes home from work, she can choose to maybe, rather than go and look for food, just have a glass of water every time. Or take 5 minutes to just sit down and observe what's going on. Or maybe take 5 minutes, listen to music, or meditating, or whatever she wants to do. Or come home, change her clothes, go outside, take a walk around the block. Whatever, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter what she's choosing to do, but if coming home from now on means that she does something else than eating, this will be a new habit eventually. In the beginning, the very first day and the second day and the third day, it might feel like unsatisfactory and like she's trying to force something that isn't there, which is exactly what she's doing. But if she does the same thing every single time that she comes home from work, this will become a new habit, because a habit is formed by something you do many, many times over. I have no idea how many times she's been eating after work, but I bet you that is quite a few times. And eventually just been so many times that rather than thinking about, am I actually hungry, do I really want something, she just does it. Whereas in the beginning it was probably more I'm a little bit hungry, maybe I should eat something. But it probably didn't happen every day. But now it's just a convenience thing, and food for most of us makes it feel quite good. So if you had a stressful day at work, you come home, what are we going to do? Look for food. It's probably, our brains at least, I think it's a very, very good idea. So when she's changing the habit, when she starts doing something else, this craving for food will go away and she will just automatically do the other thing. Some days she might come home, she might be really stressed, and she will still have these cravings because this habit loop will still be there. But what we need to do is train that other behavior so that we do that most of the time. And then when we have these intense food cravings, we'll be like, what's actually going on here? What's happening? Maybe I am really hungry, but maybe I can actually take 10 minutes to do whatever I usually do and then have my food. So now I want you to do the same thing as part of this weekly challenge. So you already have your triggers if you did the challenge last week. If you didn't, you can go back and watch that video and maybe do that one quickly so that you have something to work with. So you get to pick one of your triggers and then decide how you're going to change this habit loop. So if your trigger was every time I go shop in the supermarket, I will want to go to the chocolate aisle and look at the chocolates and buy something, for example. So now, whenever you go to the supermarket, what are you going to do instead? If it's something that happens every day, that is better because it's easier to change it if you get to practice a lot. But even if it's, you're going to the supermarket once a week, you can still do that. Just make sure that you keep practicing this for the foreseeable future until that is a new habit and you don't actually have to think about it. So, for example, in this example that I just gave, the next time she's coming home from work, she's going to drink a glass of water and relax for 5 minutes. You can set the timer if you like in the beginning, because it's going to be hard. Those 5 minutes are going to feel like 50 minutes the first time, because all you want to do is get up and get that food. But instead, have a glass of water, relax, breathe, do whatever you need to do to actually relax. Or as one of the other people in the Facebook group, Patricia, I'm sure I can mention your name, you're usually happy to help out, so I'm going to mention your name. She did something really, really good. So her husband made cinnamon toast and she loves that. But what she did, even when he offered her a bite, was she just said no. And she was just enjoying the aroma and she was observing what was going on. And when the toast was gone, the craving was also gone because the smell was gone. So whenever my husband is preparing cinnamon toast, I will just enjoy the aroma. That's it. It sounds really easy on paper, but it's not always so easy to do. But I want you to at least take one of them, figure out what you're gonna do next time you're triggered, and then obviously practice it. Do it as well. So always have a plan for what you're gonna do the next time you're getting triggered. And of course, share with us, post in the Facebook group, let us know what your plan is, what it is that you are going to change. And I also want to encourage you to, this channel is not quite yet up on library, but if you go to this link, you will get to my main channel and you can sign up there, which means that this is just another platform. It also means that you're getting paid to watch my videos. So jump over there, sign up to my library page. I will put this channel up as well. And the good thing with library is that there are no ads. You're getting paid to watch it and you don't have to watch any ads, so it's perfect. So after that, go to the Facebook group. When you have figured this out, share with us. And if you have any questions, you can also post them in the Facebook group. I'm there daily, I'm having a look, I will answer your questions, or leave me a comment underneath this video and I will get back to you. So good luck, and I will see you again next week.